Always great catching up with my next guest, the head coach at MMA Factory. It is Fernand Lopez back here on the program. Fernand, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's calm before the storm. Obviously, the big card next Saturday, UFC Paris. You've got Ciryl Gane. I believe you also have William Gomis, Taylor Lapilus. You got a lot of things coming up. How are things going leading into the big card next week?
Well, a lot of things to do. Kind of busy, but kind of excited because every time that when the UFC come in France is always something special. And Ciryl Gane back there, William Gomis back there also, and we're working, we're training. We're almost in the fight week, and so we're training every night around the time of the fight, and that's it.
That's great. How is Ciryl doing? I know he had a lot of notice for this camp. How did training camp go? Because we've got about a week left.
Great, because I know every time that you ask a fighter or a coach how the camp is going, we have the same answer, which is
right.
Great. So but I won't be how to do original. That's great and a little bit cool because we kind of stay in our bubble. We had sort of bubble this time, and Ciryl he needed time before coming up, and even speaking anything is very hard for him now to pick the phone or to talk to any media whatsoever. He's focused. The team, the camp, we are kind of focused to make it change, to try to change things definitely, like try to work our ass and make sure that we have most of the time success on what we're doing.
So you mentioned, staying away from media, just kind of staying in your own bubble. Was there anything else? Did you bring anyone in for this camp? Did you do anything differently this camp, compared to other fights?
Well, no, nothing special. To be honest with you, I would lie if I tell you we had more wrestling, or we had more striking, or more ground game, because the reality is that this is what we have been doing every time since. But people don't do it. I mean, it's hard to convince anyone that you have been working very hard when you just get submit in 2 minutes. It's hard. It's not easy to do. So you just go there and do your thing and stop worrying about what people can think. But the reality is that he's been training a lot. Like the game of MMA genuinely is something hard, because sometimes it can be unfair, sometimes it can be brutal. Like you might think, okay, this time I trained so hard, I'm so good, I'm so prepared, and then boom, you're like, what the fuck? What just happened?
Yeah.
And so coming from that loss, this is the mindset that we have, which is keep doing your thing, keep improving the most that you can to be better than the last time. Stop trying to justify or explain anything, because it's not working. What is working is only the result. Can you change it? Can you improve your result? That's it. That's what we'll try to do now.
When we last spoke, I know you wanted to fight Sergei Pavlovich. You got Serghei Spivac instead. Are you happy to still get him as an opponent, or would you have preferred Pavlovich?
Well, we still have a Serghei, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's one Serghei for another, right? So you can't beat that. That's great. What about training partners? Has it mainly been Cyryl's usual guys, Alan Badeau? Who has he mainly had a chance to work with this camp?
Whoa. We brought in Murad Aliyev, French national team, heavyweight in boxing. We brought in Cyril Marais, judo medal. He had a medal in the judo Olympic Games, and because we believe that the level of judo, or call that how you want, sambo, or whatever you want to say, is very good on Spivac. He can take you down with double leg, with single leg, but but he's great on taking people down with all the judo moves. So we spend a lot of time working on our judo, including the attack, not only the defense. And also, I mean, for the timing and the speed, you know that Nassourdine Imavov will always be around because it's genuinely is kind of speed. It can speed. It can last in the training. So even you don't have that power of heavyweight, but when it comes about reading the timing and try to figure out what the guy is doing. Are you going to shoot? Are you going to come for the move, the judo move? Are you going to come with the punch? He's the right guy to do that. So we have that mix of partner and the staff around is bigger in terms of François Laurent is the, I mean, on the paper is the best ground game coach in France. François Laurent with David Perry, their school is on the tour last year. They are the one who won. Their team, Infinity, won everything. Gi and no gi in France, everything, every time.
That's excellent.
So we mesh teams together and we're working together, and they're taking good care of our guy now, all of them. So all of them, they're already giving everything, so I think that would be good.
Not looking past Saturday or next Saturday night, but is you talked about sort of in our last interview about Ciryl kind of doing too much. After this fight, is it your understanding he'll probably take the rest of the year off and fight the year after, or have you thought about that yet? About what could be after this?
We want Ciryl ideally we want him to fight before the end of the year. After this fight, we hope he can have a fight in December, some along this line. So we hope we can have the fight around this line, definitely. Yeah.
And obviously in November we have Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic. Do you think Jon will successfully defend his title in that fight? What do you think about that matchup?
But MMA is MMA, right? Everything can happen. But likely see Jon Jones winning the fight.
Are you worried at all that Jon will retire after this and Ciryl won't get his rematch?
Myself and Ciryl, including, we're not that type of people that seeking for revenge. We know how to let go and move on. But yeah, definitely that would have been an honor to fight Jon Jones, to have a second chance to fight Jon Jones. But we don't deserve it yet, And unfortunately, seems like we will be retired. But if it's around, I think the fight could have been different. I think that if they fight again, that would be a different fight.
Do you think he'll retire? A lot of people feel like this is his last fight, Jon Jones.
I think it's, I mean, what I heard from people that know what they're talking about, and the people that deal with him in the UFC, I think it will be, it's going, this is something that obviously is the weight class of Ciryl. So I've been asking around, and that's likely true that he's going to retire.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll see. I mentioned another name there, William Gomis. How's the rest of your fighters doing, especially the ones that are on this card next Saturday?
William Gomis is doing great. This kid amazes me every day because, and you know that, like in the first place, I didn't really think that I didn't see the thing that was in him, like the talent that he had. I didn't see, but the strength and the talent that he has is the belief that he has in himself. I rarely see people be that humble, simple, kind, but pretty sure that they're going to make it.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty sure that they're going to make it. I don't know how to explain you, but I wasn't in the train. Even I'm the coach. I wasn't in the train. Like when I'm saying the train who's going in the top 10. I wasn't in that train, but I'm in now. I'm so in now because he convinced me by the discipline that he have, by the improvement that he's doing with all the good boxer that we bring in from the French national team to sparring with him at the gym, the good guy from the ground game that we bring in and we try to improve him. I tend to think that it can become something. So yeah, that's it. And Taylor Lapillus is very fine, but he's not fighting for the MMA Factory. He's not representing MMA Factory anymore. He's representing a new gym in France.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think that is good. It's looking good. I saw him on picture and video. He looked like very good on shape, like I've seen rarely. I think that is on good hands. He has good coaches around him. He's in a good gym. He have a good diet coach, and I think that he will have a very good performance in Paris because Taylor has one of the best. I mean, if you take out people like Sean O'Malley, who's ridiculously tall, Taylor has one of the best reach that we have in the division.
Yep.
And he's a lot of experience. This guy had a run before in the UFC, get caught from the UFC with 3 victories, 1 defeat, sign again, but before signing, had 7 years outside of taking double champ in the GMC, the best organization in Germany, champ in the TKO in Canada, in your place, champ in RS. Is very good. He's talented, and I'm pretty sure that this is someone that the French can count on him, and I think that he will deliver on September 2nd.
What happened with the Lazy King? How come he didn't sign with the UFC? I think a lot of people were surprised by that. Congratulations, though, that he's with PFL, but were you surprised that he wasn't on the card next Saturday?
I was surprised, but I was definitely surprised. I don't know what happened. Maybe what I heard is like they wanted him, but unfortunately, because of the time running and the very good proposition that we had from the PFL, we couldn't wait any longer.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Got to take the best offer, and PFL had it at the time. It was a timing thing, right?
Okay. That's what I mean. Like, I want to be honest. The thing that he had in mind, the organization that he wanted to go is where he can have better competition, which is the UFC. But the time was clicking, the time was running, and we couldn't have a contract. And at this point, he decided that he wanted to go to the PFL because they were showing a lot of respect, and they keep showing a lot of respect, the way they treat him, the way they welcome him, the way he's very happy. Like, he's really happy, he's fine, he's training, he's busy in the training camp, and I think he will deliver on September 3rd in Zenit Paris. And we also have in the same card with Abdul, Jordan Zebo fighting for the main event in the PFL. Jordan Zebo will be facing Seding Doumbé in the PFL Paris. That's very good news. And we have a third fighter in that fight card. We're still waiting to have that to be official, but we should have Laureano Staropoli, who was in the UFC and then become the RS champ. He will be fighting in Paris because he couldn't fight in New York. The fight was scheduled for last week, New York, but he couldn't in the Madison Square Garden, so they should move the fight in Paris.
Okay. Well, that's all great news. Good to hear. One other name I wanted to ask you about. We talked about this in our last interview. Slim, the heavyweight, Trabelsi. I saw in a press release today that he's fighting on Bellator 300. Is he released from Aries? What's the latest with him? Do you know?
I'm not aware of that.
That's what surprised me. I just got a press release today saying that he's fighting on Bellator 300. So
that's the second time that
I know. I remember we talked about this last time. It seemed like it wasn't official. So
I think I think they're trying to test it, but I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible because the case still pending on the court. So I don't know if it's possible. I'm surprised anyway. I'm not.
I was surprised too. It said that he's fighting Davion Franklin, Bellator 300 on October 7th in San Diego. So I guess we'll wait to see what happens. But I didn't think he was released yet, so I wasn't sure about that. So just wanted to let you know because I saw that in a press release earlier today. So. That's interesting. One other fighter I wanted to ask you about. You didn't think we were going to get out of here without talking about Nassourdine Imavov. He's got a big fight against Ikram on the Abu Dhabi card. How's Nassourdine looking? A really big fight for him in Abu Dhabi.
Wow. Yeah, big fight. Big fight. I'm pumped. I'm very excited to have that happen. It's not easy when you have two guys coming from Dagestan fighting together. It's never easy because behind the scene you have family talking each other. Why do you accept the fight? You should not, this and that. So they're talking in the background and it's not easy to make happen. But I think that they're preparing. Actually, Nassourdine is preparing very hard. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, what I'm saying is that he's getting ready and he just wants to fight. No matter what they put in front of him, he will be fighting. Ikram is one of very solid fighter. I have a guy from my team, Ilian Boafia, who fought recently in RS. He's one of the main sparring of Chimaev. And he told me that Chimaev said that Ikram was the harder fight that he had on his career. So that tells a lot about Ikram, who he is and how entertaining that fight will be.
Very much so. There's a couple of big fights on that card. I actually wanted to ask you, you mentioned Khamzat Chimaev. He's fighting Paulo Costa on that card. What do you think of that fight? Do you think Chimaev will be victorious against Paulo moving up to middleweight?
Chimaev all day.
Chimaev all day. Okay. Quite the endorsement there. And then I just wanted to ask you about the main event. It's Islam and Charles. Do you see there being a different result or do you think it'll be just like the first fight? Do you think Islam will win again?
Islam.
Yeah.
All day.
Islam all day. Okay. Quite the...
I need to be honest on that. I've been one of the best fan of Charles Oliveira. But what Islam is being on the table is scary.
It is. It is for sure. Just last question on Ciryl. Is it your understanding if he wins here, he could potentially get a title shot, or have you been told anything from the UFC? Because it's another main event for Ciryl, and I would imagine a win here gets him right back near the top. Is that your understanding? We
are looking to go back for the belt. He's looking the belt. We are looking the belt. But so far, I didn't have any information or confirmation of whatsoever. The only thing that when I'm speaking with Enter, is like, you know how things goes in the heavyweight. Yeah. Everything can change like that. So just get ready, just have your victory, and let's see what happens. So you just have to keep waiting and make sure that you are healed, you are fine, and you can fight. If you have your passport ready and you're ready to fight, anything can happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
And we're here to a little bit force that destiny, to try to force a little bit the door, like, okay, let's push a little bit so we can have that title one third time and see what happens this time.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. I know you're very busy. It's coming up next Saturday. It is UFC Paris. If there's anything you'd like to mention before we get out of here, anything you want to promote, I will give you the last word, sir.
It's okay. I'm really happy for you to call me and ask me to be here. I'm not trying to take advantage of this to promote anything. Yeah, they said nothing special. And see you around. And thank you for everything that you're doing for the MMA. Thank you.